Hey, everybody, welcome into Roosters on Olentangy here in Columbus. It is Lettermen Live, brought to you by our good friends at Roosters. We're going to have a fun, casual conversation talking about the Buckeyes.
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
51-10, boys, against Indiana on the road to open Big Ten play. You guys know these guys, but it's Beanie Wells down here, Anthony Schlegel. He's back from his cruise. Mike Doss back for another week to talk about that defense. And I actually talked with Beanie already today about Buckeye Q, so I know that his big takeaway is the running game. We'll get to that later on.
But it's a great take.
What do you think here, guys? I mean, there's always this conversation going into Indiana. They might be sleepy. They might struggle. For about a quarter, maybe that was true, but 51-10 in your Big Ten opener seemed pretty impressive to me. Schlegs, what do you think?
Well, what did you predict the game to be? What was your score?
I didn't have a score. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout like it was.
You didn't think that? What did you have?
I think I was right there around 51-14 or something.
Oh, you were close. Yeah. What'd you have?
I had 49-10. So
I had 41-10.
I get nervous when I pick something that wide because it's like, that's a Big Ten opponent.
Right.
It's on the road. It's like, man, is that a crazy amount? And
No.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I think that defensively they're so much better. Like, that was the problem over the last 2 years is you had that defense to where you didn't know what to expect. They're 70th in the country. That's not what we have here. I think that our coaching has taken a great step forward. And it's not really just the individual coaches, but it's the fact that they're all on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And, again, playing man is difficult, but the good thing is, I think, and we'll talk about the DBs later, but having learned how to play man, it just you have now ball instincts to where when you play zone, things just come up that much easier, right?
Sure.
So that was great. Plus, I didn't think Penix was gonna play anyways. Because if I'm Indiana, I'm like, listen, I got 5 teams in my schedule. I'm 2-0 that I can beat. Let's go to a bowl game. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this guy healthy and not face Chase Young and the boys. And let's get to the next week, right, in UConn.
And it's not even just Chase Young now. I mean, they rolled out. They didn't have Jonathan Cooper again for the third week. He's close to return, but they didn't need him at Indiana. Tyreek Smith sat out the whole second half. And then what do? Okay, well, Javonte John Baptiste, go get your first sack.
John Baptiste.
Yeah.
Zach Harrison got one.
Zach Harrison, go get your first. And Tyler Friday, 2 tackles for loss. I mean, Doss, it's got to be easy for a defensive back when you've got that pass rush from the rushman going after a
And that's what's good about their play right now is that they can actually go make plays on the ball because they know it's coming out quick. So they can sit on some routes, they can jump some plays. And as you seen with Arnett's interception to the house, it was a carryover. He was in zone coverage, dropped the receiver. Another receiver came into a zone, and he went and made a play on the football, and he attacked it, and then he was off to the races.
All right, Beanie. Running game, go.
Before we go to running game, though, I want to hit on the defense with these guys.
Okay, good.
I don't mean to rule you out of that.
It's all good.
Well, because he's a running back, he knows nothing about defense.
That's what they say.
No, he looks like a defensive end.
I would never do that to Beanie. I would never do
No, but I think the more impressive thing with this defense is that we're not talking about a bunch of new guys. We're not talking about a bunch of freshmen out there, a bunch of sophomores out there. We're talking about the same defense, essentially, players that we had last year that are playing tremendously better. We're talking 10 times better, all because of what you said, the scheme.
All right,
they were playing in the zone situation.
That's
the impressive thing.
Damon Arnett is the poster boy for that. Am I wrong?
Oh, 100%.
Well, I think that Damon Arnett is a poster boy for that, along with Pete and Tuff and Malik. I think that Malik, even in that scheme of last year, and let's say a system, right? Because you're with Haycock and Fickle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the Silver Bullets were what they were. You had D'Antonio, and it was a carryover, right?
Yeah,
it was like D'Antonio, you had Haycock, and Fickle, and like that system, the Silver Bullets, we played zone. We had zone pressure. We played some man when we had to, right? But it was always stopping the run, of which we never did. So now, to your point, Beanie, is that you're not talking about new dudes. Everybody thought there were going to be probably 2 new linebackers in that mix this year, and they're not.
Correct.
Why? Because they're playing the best 11 dudes. And guess what? Sometimes people like the bullet position and Brendan White's not in there, or there's maybe another DB. These guys are playing at a high level, and they're executing. They don't need to come off the field to go do that, right?
They're only playing 3-4 downs. I mean, how long was the drive for Indiana? Maybe 8 plays, 9 plays?
It took a while to get a first down going there.
It took about 5 series.
And what they're doing, I mean, how much not thinking are these players doing in this defensive scheme?
Exactly.
And, I mean, last year, I think that's what screwed them up. They were thinking too much on the field.
And where I think they were thinking too much because they didn't really know. Because 18, 18 to 22-year-olds, they're only going to do what they're coached to do.
Exactly.
And if they get a process like I do this or do I do that, then we're really seeing where the coaching's coming in, and then being able to play fast is the pursuit of the football. Like, you're seeing guys, I mean, I'm seeing 8 dudes, like, on a out-of-bounds play in the picture frame.
Right.
Like, that is something that you haven't seen, that pursuit, and that only comes with being able to play fast and play confident.
Mike, narrow the picture down for me there with Arnett, because I've been a defender of this guy. I thought when he came back that it was a big deal, and I got just sometimes you need to turn off Twitter, right? I said, why Damon Arnett's return is big for Ohio State. Well, he's a veteran. Okay, he's going to have Jeff Hafley working with him. Something was not connecting. Some of it is on his shoulder that maybe he didn't have the right work ethic or mentality a year ago. You can't say 100% what it is, but I know right now he's showing the potential that made me believe he was important. Well, so what is it? What is it that's putting him over the top?
I give it two things. What is it is, number one, he's the oldest in the room, so everyone's looking up to him, and he has to carry that responsibility, and he has to show the young guys, hey, this is how it gets done. I've been around here 5 years now, and I want to go out. And him being a senior, him being a senior, he knows his back is against the wall. He can't look for tomorrow. He knows every game is his last game, and he wants to put out good tape for the NFL scouts. He wants to make sure that he leaves Ohio State better than when he came in, and he wants to carry on the tradition of DBU. And I think Coach Hafley coming in with that NFL-style coaching slowed the game down for him.
Right.
And let him see, okay, this is what you're doing wrong. It's just these little tweaks here and there, and then you can go out and make big plays. So back probably before, he was kind of guessing, looking, hoping to make a play. Now he's confident and realizes, like, oh, it's actually coming. Did that tight end really just run the route that the coach told me he was going to come?
Right.
And here I am jumping that pass for a 97-yard touchdown.
I was really hoping that he was going to talk to the media after the game on Saturday, because out of everyone on that team, he's at the top of the list that would come out and say, I told you so. Because he's really sick and tired of dealing with what I'm talking about. Right. He gets it on Twitter too, and he's
talented. I mean, he was one of a top recruit.
Right.
I mean, the kid's very talented out of Florida. He has all the intangibles, and now it's great to see that Coach Hafley and Coach Madison have been able to pull all that talent out of him, and he's being a leader, and everyone's playing well amongst them together with Wade, and you got Akuda, right. Making looking at each other like, okay, who's gonna make the play?
Right.
Everybody challenging each other. Who wants to make the play?
Competitiveness right there, man.
Right.
That just breeds amongst the defense when you got one guy making a play, and then you're running a system where everybody can flourish on any given play.
Are you guys glad that you played at Ohio State when there wasn't Twitter, social media?
Yes. Yeah. I'd have been in so much trouble.
Off the field, yeah. yes.
That wasn't what I was thinking.
There's way too many stories for that. No, we had 11. We had people. We had buck nuts. They bash you, whatever. Who cares, man? Your identity is you're going out there doing everything you possibly can. It's the man in the arena. Mm-hmm. You know what? Bump everybody else. I just give them a go Bucks.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, it's you and your brothers out there trying to play the best that you possibly can. And that's what I liked about it. Those 2 years of adversity, all these guys, because they've all heard it, it's only going to make them better and enhance them, because 1, they want to work on their craft, 2, put a chip on their shoulder, but 3, playing in man is difficult. And I think a lot of that was Coach Meyer wanted to play man. That's what he was. I want to play man. I want to get after the quarterback. I want to have great defensive ends. But you have to learn a skill set that is difficult to teach. And then now we are able to implement a zone pressure and man, and mix all of those together. It allows our guys to play really, really fast and take some chances, because their technique and fundamentals in playing man is so much better than it would be if you were a zone team that went to play man.
Correct. All right, Austin, enough of this defense stuff.
All right, now he's my side of the ball. Now he's ready. He wants the ball.
Yes,
right,
absolutely.
Get him.
The running game.
Okay.
How can you not be impressed with the running game?
Hey.
I mean, on the podcast last week, I challenged JK. I said, the coaches are talking about giving Master Teague the ball. You should want it to be no discussion about anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
What you do, go out there and ball. But then you still got Master Teague getting the ball.
Was he on the podcast with you?
No, he wasn't on the podcast. But I was challenging.
Cool.
I was hoping that
he was listening to it.
Everybody listens to Beanie.
I would.
Right.
No, but I mean, watching a younger guy like Master Teague come in and spell JK and still give you that same production to
even
when you don't miss
a bigger body. In a bigger body, more physical.
No doubt.
He comes in fresh, and he's wearing down the defense. So when JK comes back in, he's like, oh, one jump cut, I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Beanie and I broke this down on Buckeye Key. We focused on Master Teague this week, but you've had these conversations with Boom before. We were talked about Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins last year. How does a running back handle that when you know someone's coming for your work? I don't think that J.K. Dobbins could, maybe I'm wrong about this, you tell me, but could find that next level if he didn't have one of these guys pushing him. We thought maybe it was going to be DeMario. It's really turning out to be Master Teague, Marcus Crowley to some extent. But is that the case? I mean, how are you aware of you, if you're going out there, of the guy behind you trying to take your job?
I think what's first motivating him is Ezekiel Elliott's contract.
Exactly.
He's looking like, here's the opportunities. I got Ohio State running backs in the league getting paid. Where's my next shot?
Yeah.
You know, for him, he knows it's a countdown because the backfield is always going to be full. So he's looking to maximize his opportunity this year to go out and make sure he can be the highest draft pick possible and make a decision.
I mean, that's always certainly a motivation when you got the number one running back in the NFL that goes to the school that you're at, and he's just signed this massive contract. But being here and knowing that every single year you're going to have a guy behind your back that's going to be very good, because we're going to go out and recruit 4- and 5-star guys. And let's not forget, we just saw last season him share the workload with Mike Weber. Yes. So I know he's one to go out and put his best foot forward on a weekly basis. So he is the guy, and he feels comfortable being a guy to where he doesn't have to say, you know what, all right, I got to give not only 10 carries, but maybe 15 carries to this guy next time.
Yeah,
correct.
Well, the other thing, too, is you're seeing this now. It's part of the culture of Ohio State football. Right, so it's the D-line room, it's the linebacker room, it's the secondary. Yep. You look at the wide receiver room. You got KJ Hill, you got Mac. There's senior guys. You got CJ, seniors, Victor, 2 captains, right? And then you come down and you see all these young guys. And what it does is, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, you went and got yours when you had the opportunity. Right. That's great. I needed to blow. They wanted to change the pace. That's good, but you still went out there and did it. So not only are you encouraging your teammate, you want to see him get him, but you're also pushing yourself because I still want to beat him. Mm-hmm. So it's competitiveness within the room, ultimately, that lifts up the team so you have the best team possible. Right? And that is something that is very delicate to do and hard to do. And that's why I think it starts with Coach Day.
100%.
And then it filters down through his staff. So, again, great teams, and Coach Meyer talks about this all the time. It's the 10-80-10. And he says that in 2014, he had 80% of his team was in the top 10. And then he had 20% that was in that middle 80. And he's like, that's what you want. When you have everybody buying into where everybody can make everybody else better, ultimately at the end of the day, that's how you're going to have great teams.
Yeah,
100%.
Compete. I mean, you go to Ohio State to compete, not only on Saturdays in the shoe, but to go compete for a position. And that's what they're doing here. And I respect Ryan Day so much, because it's not easy to come in after Urban Meyer and to get people to buy in, but not only get people to buy in, but you to look light years better as a team.
Yes. You look good, man.
The last Urban Meyer team that we saw on the football field.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Buckeye fans, as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, Roosters is giving away 12 trips for 2 to this year's Buckeye Bowl game. Each trip comes complete with airfare, hotel, gift bag, and 2 lower-level tickets. 1 bowl prize winner chosen each week, along with other cool Roosters weekly prizes. So register every week at your favorite Roosters or at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Official contest rules at roosterswings.com.
That's real. That's
Speaking of competing in practice and getting better, everybody went through August like, this quarterback thing can't be real. But that's sort of that mentality, that culture that you guys talked about. It turns out that Justin Fields is pretty good. So he was probably destined to always win it. 14 of 24 on Saturday, though. You could say if that's not his best outing of the year, you can still grow from that, and they're pretty darn dangerous with 51 points on the board. What did you guys make of that performance? He's obviously not a finished product after 3 games, but he wasn't supposed to be.
He's three-game starter into his true career. At Georgia, he was spilling from, and he was only making run plays. Read options. He wasn't throwing it down the field. And for him to be 3 games in with Coach Day, you can see that light is starting to click. He's starting to see it. He's little soft throws, little over the tops. He'll get better as the season progresses. But at this point, for him to be a 3-game starter, true sophomore, transfer from University of Georgia, and come in here and lead these Buckeyes the way he's leading. And if you look at the numbers, the comparables between Haskins and JT for his first three games of his career, I mean, he's doing excellent.
I think he's only going to get so much better, like Mike said. I think the more impressive thing is we haven't seen this offense open up whatsoever.
No.
We've been so vanilla in our scheme and what we've been running and what we've been allowing him to do at the quarterback spot. Wait till Ryan Day puts his touch on it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just going out right now feeling the type of guys that he has on his roster. Who's the playmakers? Who's the guys that are going to compete? Wait till we get into the thick of this thing.
Four carries for Fields on Saturday. That's not going to be the case against Penn State or a rivalry game.
Well, the good thing, too, is when you have those games, when you call upon him, he can go do it. We don't need to have him unnecessary hits right now on him, especially when you have a running game that's almost 300 yards by itself, right, with your 2 running backs. So that's great. And then also I think that how he's placing the football, sending his guys up for success, putting it on the back shoulder to where only my guys can get it. And, yeah, he wasn't as good as he was in week 2, right, versus a Cincinnati now at Indiana. But his completion percentage, like he was the number 1 rated adjusted rating in college football as a freshman at Ohio State 2 weeks into this thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to have some ups and downs with that, but the dude is playing at a very high level. And the other best thing about it is I think now at Ohio State we have something that I want to talk about a little bit, which is an offensive line that is actually firing off the ball. Beanie knows this. Like I know a lot of the guys that you played with. I've always wanted, after I got done playing, to see an Ohio State offensive line maul people. Right? Because the thing that back in the day was we didn't have the speed on the edge to handle a Florida. Right? You remember?
Right.
Or LSU, like they came after the port. Right. We didn't have that. Well, now we got guys that can run, but they're also kind of mean and they're pricks and they want to go to the second level.
Huge.
And when you set and pair that with a running back like J.K. Dobbins and a guy like more like Beanie style, the Master Teague, right? One plant and go, north and south type guy. Now you got a recipe for success, and if you can get Fields, that's what opens it up. That's why they paid Zeke.
Yes.
They paid Zeke because Zeke makes Dak better.
Yeah,
100%.
And when they have to stop Zeke, he has open lanes. When they got to stop J.K. and Master Teague, his throws are going to be better.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring that up, Schlegs. We were looking for
because they're all champions 2 weeks ago. I was waiting.
Right?
I wanted to see.
Where is the third one? Did they make it 3 in a row?
I wanted to see if they made it again.
And that'll be out. We'll find out. I would imagine after that performance and that rushing attack, there is no question that there will be 5 more champions from the offensive line.
And you know what you saw there? Josh Myers, who's their center, he's getting more comfortable. There's a couple of blitzes they had early in the game because, again, Fick blitzed 46 times in week 2, and they were like, hey, we got to pressure these guys to stop the run. And the first time they got him, and the second time he didn't. He was able to make the adjustment and reset the mic and pick it up. Like, that's progress. And when you can do that, especially early in a game, maybe even within a series on your own as a group, let's go.
We're in good shape.
I mean, I think a running back's going to be pretty happy to see some of those holes that are open. They were massive. J.K. Dobbins.
I can run through those.
Dawslus, whoever.
I could block through it.
I might have scored a touchdown on some of them. I don't know, but probably not me. That's a little too far. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Lettermen Live, brought to you by Roosters. Talk to Nicole Cox about what's going on with the Crews, with Schlegs, and all that. We'll be right back. All right, hey, everybody, let's take a quick break from talking about the Buckeyes. We've got Director of Marketing Nicole Cox from Roosters in with us. Schlegel's obviously still here. We can't get rid of him. Hey, we're about a mile from the Horseshoe. If you can't be there, this is like the best place to come hang out and watch TV.
Thanks so much, Austin.
We've got the food here right here. So, Nicole, you and Schlegel have been pretty busy, I think, preparing already for the Crews.
Yes.
The Roosters Foundation. What are you guys doing right now to get ready already 4 or 5 months out?
So we just had our annual charitable event. We do an annual golf outing every year. Our Roosters Foundation does. It's important to us as Roosters and the Roosters Foundation to give back to the community. The community supports us, and we want to support them. So we raised $140,000 that we are going to be able to give to the Buckeye Crews for Cancer, which is an absolutely amazing event. It benefits the James Cancer Hospital and the Urban and Shelley Meyer Fund for Cancer Research. So we are honored to be a part of it.
It's incredible the work that you guys are doing. I remember when we were in here a month ago before the season, and it was like in the millions that the foundation's giving back.
Yes.
It's such a fixture of the community here. It's great.
Well, we couldn't do it without the support of the community, just loving our food and coming in here and having a great time, and we appreciate that so much.
All right, so what's next for Roosters? I believe there's one up by my house in
Yes.
Dublin
Oh,
opening.
yeah. You gotta go there, man.
Yes. Schlegel, have you been there yet?
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's so it's off 270 in Sawmill Road. It's our newest location. It's doing great, and we're very excited about it. Yes.
Perfect. All right, we got game day this week against Miami, Ohio State, week number 4. Everybody who comes on the show has to give a prediction, Nicole, so I need to know what yours is for this Saturday.
Obviously, Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think anybody's going to doubt that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she doesn't even need to give a score.
This is Ohio State.
She says Ohio State. You can take it to the bank. Nicole said so. So great. Thanks for having us in
Come
here.
to Roosters,
It's the
guys.
best part of every week.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, back to football. All right, we're back.
That was quick.
Live. We caught these guys right in the middle of it. It's the wonders of TV and technology out here. Still talking Ohio State football, but we can't just let this food sit here forever. Well, the microphone's up there.
I'm ready.
There you go.
Great stuff. Appreciate Roosters for keeping us well fed.
Cancer.
Definitely going to take advantage of that. All right, guys. So it's now 3-0. There's a little break here. I don't know how a team resists You got Miami of Ohio, another huge double-digit favorite. You guys have been through all of these before, the non-conference tune-ups. They're now sandwiched in between. You had at Indiana and at Nebraska. If it's me, I'm thinking this is pretty hard to stay focused on Miami, but how do you fight that? How do you stay ready for a non-conference game?
I mean, it's a stat builder. I mean, if I'm a guy that's going out there, I'm going to get the first half, just get this thing kicking, get it over with, get my stats up. I mean, KJ Hill, he's a senior. He wants to try to get 2 quick touches, get off the field. JK wants to run for $125, get off the field. I mean, the defense want to get some turnovers, a couple sacks. Chase Young's like, all right, get me off the field. So, I mean, this is a stat stuffer game. We should go out there in the first half and pretty much, make it 35-42 nothing.
The way you stay away from that is you go in, if you're Ryan Day, when you're talking to the team, this is prove it. This is a prove it year. This is a prove it year for me as a coach. It's my first year at the helm running the show. The offensive line, this is a prove it year. We got 4 new guys on that offensive line. Mm-hmm. This is a prove it year for the defense, not only Greg Madison and Al Washington, but the guys that were on that defense last year that stunk it up. This is a prove it year for JK because of what did transpire last year. We saw him split time with Mike Weber. Yep. We saw him not have his best outing. So I'm going out to prove it every single week. That's the way you get this team motivated and tell them, hey, we're playing Miami, whether it's Miami, Ohio, or the University of Miami. You better be ready to go because you got something to prove.
It was interesting.
I'm ready to play for you, Beanie. Let's go. That's real. That's exactly what you say.
I think that the most impressive thing was, and I guess you can put it with a grain of salt, it's easy to say that you're going to approach every game that way and much harder to do it. But as soon as that was over on Saturday, Chase Young's like, well, we gave up a trick play touchdown. We're not happy about that. Justin Fields is talking about his footwork. So I can see and understand completely that there are things they want to improve on. Sometimes that mentality, it's hard to keep that up throughout the whole year. I mean, is that not real, Schleg? That seems like it's a challenge.
It's real. I mean,
it's a challenge.
But it's a 3:30 kickoff, so they get a little bit more relaxed. Get to see some family come in on Friday, and I think those guys will be motivated because they know they'll be prime time. So they know.
And they're competing for spots, man. D-line. I mean, you're competing for who's the number 2 defensive end.
I mean, if I'm one of those receivers, I'm chipping at the bit to get a pass from Justin. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to get on the field. And this is the week where a young guy can make a stride to maybe make a jump over an older guy because the older guys lack some practice, and the coaches is like, okay, who's making plays?
And that's where the special teams come in. Like, that's where you're seeing Matt Barnes. I tell you what, man. See, when we lost Kerry Combs, you took a hit, one from the juice on the sideline, and the energy around the team itself at practice, because he's an energy giver, right? Correct. And then you also took a hit in the special teams because he was a special teams coordinator. Now you got Matt Barnes, and I heard this last week about Coach Barnes teaching them the game of football or the game of special teams within their own position, of how JK could go through and avoid somebody, or how a wide receiver gets off the line as a gunner, or how I got to do hold up. And this is, I'm a stock block as a tight end, and how it correlates to their position. And they have buy-in, and then you block a field goal, you block a punt for a safety, right?
Yep, last week.
Right? So then, hey, what else am I going to do? He wanted 5 block field goals this year. We got one, we got to get another one. So having those goals in front of the guys, and just like, Mike said, this is an opportunity, special team-wise, where guys, remember, they got that freshman rule where you can play.
Yep.
So let's play them. Let's see what we got for next year. But ultimately, you got to go out and execute, and this is where it's like, hey, I got to go out there, get mine, and make sure that there is a significant difference between me as A and you as B.
Right.
Because why? I'm going to go grade 100% this week.
Right.
And I'm going to go make the plays that I'm not going to overdo or try to do more than my job. I'm going to go do my job at a very high level. You're going to come in, you're going to do yours, you're good, but there's an A and there's a B, and I am here. And then I get my opportunity on special teams for those young guys, because that's how you see the field.
That freshman usage, I think it's a great rule change for one.
Keeps them engaged.
And I think so. Interestingly, what are you going to do with DeJuan Jones? I asked Ryan Day this the other day. He's 6'8", he's 370 pounds, and he's right there next to Chase Young against Cincinnati blocking the field goal. So I'm like, how do you decide? Is it worth it to have him block field goals all year? Are you going to pick the 4 games where you most want to block a field goal? That's an interesting.
Put him in. That's a great question. That's a great question.
I don't think they know the answer yet, because you would like, if you're going to be in competitive games, you would like it to have your best 11 on your field goal block unit. I think he's part of that. But he might not be, because he's a project for offensive tackle. I don't think they know exactly what they would do, but they are really intrigued by the idea of putting this monster out there in the middle and then letting Chase Young, who is accepting a role, another Urban Meyerism here, Marati, your best guys, your best workers, your best players.
I was on the punt team.
If Chase Young is out there to block field goals, that bodes pretty well for the rest of the guys. So that's a long-winded way of saying special teams are good on this team.
Special teams are really good, and that is a great equalizer, especially when you're going to go to Nebraska, you're going to be at Michigan, you're going to be – who else we got? Who else do we got on the road?
We got Northwestern.
We're at Northwestern. We're at Maryland.
Yeah.
So
that's a Friday night. That's a short week.
Right. So I think that's the one thing that I've seen is like you have that third factor. One, it's a field flipper. Two, it's a momentum changer. And you got guys buying in, and that's what we saw from Terry. You go look at what Terry's doing. That work ethic that Terry took from being a special teamer to a wide receiver is correlating to him in the NFL. Yep. Olave coming on. You got a shot. Yep. Guess what? You got a shot in the biggest game of the year, and you go score 2 touchdowns because of what you did on special teams. One, if you permit it, you promote it, right? And right now at Ohio State, we're promoting that you are on teams and you do teams at a high level, and the work ethic that is required for teams will make you the player that we want every down.
Yeah. And the best athletes will be on the field.
Man.
Receiver,
regardless.
DC, linebacker, if you can make plays in special teams, we want you on the field, and that just shows your versatility.
All right, Lettermen
Live.
Best
teams play. Best players play.
There you go.
That's it, man.
Brought to you by Roosters. It's about that time we're getting hungry, so better make some predictions and what you guys are expecting on Saturday.
We're not there yet. Hey,
what? All right, what do you got?
I want to hear about the linebackers.
All right, Pete Warner.
Okay.
I forgot. I told you. I prepared you.
Well, you didn't prepare me. I want to hear these guys. I want to talk about the LBs because –
well, explain to me one first, Anthony.
Yeah.
I asked you about this, and I want you to talk about it because you weren't here last week. You were cruising.
Yeah, man, it's cruising.
Okay, so there's been this.
We went to Coco K. We had to go check it out. We got a new listen, Buckeye Cruise.
He has to prepare for his next
cruise. You guys see this?
I went on the cruise.
Yeah, I went on the pre-cruise. I went on the preparatory cruise where we had to go see the new huts. Listen,
I'm back on the cruise. I didn't get that invite.
Well, listen, hey, this is Captain Jacked here. You know what I mean? I got to go make funny videos. Follow me at Schlegel Valley, and you'll see them. Anyways, that being said, yeah, we were cruising. I mean, we're looking at it's going to be a phenomenal year on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer, so make sure that you're on it. But
okay,
again, come on, feed me LBs.
Last week the question was, because now you're looking at this Sam bullet, and Coach Madison says they're interchangeable, right?
Yeah. They are.
And Pete Warner is out there more than Brendan White, and people are wondering why that is, and I think it's a credit to Pete Warner more than it is problem with Brendan White.
Well, that is a 100% accurate.
Okay.
I would agree. You know? I would agree.
You go hit it. You hit it, Mike.
He had to improve. He knew the pressure was on. I mean, we all thought 2 linebackers may be getting moved out. And these guys competed, in the spring. They learned the system. And as we can see, the production is happening every Saturday, and they're fighting for reps.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for reps. And it's like the coach has to pick every other series or what's the play call on this. And the guys are trying to show their versatility. And I think I saw Warner actually roll back to like a half safety last week. So, I mean, the guys they're learning. They're going out and they're putting out 110% effort. And they just want to be on the field. And it's hard to get, the best 11 out on every play.
Here's what I like that I'm seeing is you're playing to the strength of the guys that you have, right? So in 2005, when I was here, we played 80% nickel. People didn't really know that. Why? Because we had a safety in Dante Whitner who could stop the run and cover a tight end, right? Bobby, we needed an extra pass rusher, so Bobby was a pass rusher.
Correct.
So I want to go put my best 11. It's not about Brendan versus Pete. It's just the fact that he plays Sam, and regardless of what we're doing, if they're throwing the ball or running the ball, he right now is the best fit for us doing what we have to do. There will be times where we're going to play 4 linebackers, and guess who's going to be the 4th one? It's probably going to be Brendan because he's going to have to cover a guy, and they'll move Pete to the other side, right? And then you roll in Browning in there. So now you got 4 linebackers that are competing for reps. Malik is always the standout guy, but I will say at the very beginning of that game, my note was Tuff Borland was all the way around the ball. The first quarter, I saw him almost on every play. Didn't necessarily make the tackle, but he was there. So these guys have a chip. They are hungry to make plays, and our defense, because again, this is Ohio State. It revolves around the running back. It revolves around linebackers, right? Not second, But it's like, but people will look at the silver bullets and they automatically look at the linebackers because of what has been here in the lineage of it, right? And when they've been down for a couple years, they want to see that.
And that's the tribute to Sean Wade. We haven't even talked about Sean Wade.
Sean was all over the place.
Sean he is probably the most athletic guy on the field because he's a corner, but he has like a safety body. So he's playing man-to-man. He's playing man-to-man in the slot against 5'8",
Yeah.
6'2".
Yeah, he is, man. He can cover them all.
Pressing, off man, and he's showing his versatility. So you can't forget, like, he's talented enough that, you know what, you can move me anywhere, coach, and I can make a play.
I do think it changes as we move on into the season.
Yes.
I mean, you look at the first couple of games. Granted, we know who we're playing.
Yeah.
We know the style of offenses in which we're seeing. But as we get into the thick of things, when we are seeing some teams that can pass the ball around, that can spread it out, we'll see Brendan back in there. I know maybe his ego may have took a shot. It took a shot. I took a shot for him because I wanted him out there because he played so well. And he changed the defense when he came in last year. But you understand the circumstances and situations and Greg Madison, what he's trying to do. He wants to evaluate guys in these first couple of games.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the guys competing? Who's going to be the guys that's able to cover when we need to drop back?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Pete is getting an opportunity right now to be out there. He's showing his versatility. But I think once it gets to the thick of things where we're playing those teams with better wide receivers and more spread it out type offenses, we'll see Brendan back out there because he's going to be the best fit in terms of covering.
There you go. Well, there's one prediction right there, but it's not for this Saturday. Schlegs, are we ready for that? We can.
Okay.
All right. I need to make
I think
sure
we're good.
I got to get clearance from Captain Jack over here.
I think it's going to be like, I give it 56-3. If they score a field goal, you know, I think 56-3. The young boys are still hungry. It's still school just kind of getting good. The weather's still good. You know, it's 3:30 kickoff. They're going like, hey, I'm trying to get my stats
I like
back.
that one. I like somewhere in the 50s.
Okay.
Easy
Maybe
in the
60s.
50s.
Yeah,
Maybe.
easily. I really.
Maybe
I don't see them being able to stop us offensively. I really don't see them being able to score. I mean, what was the score of the Cincinnati Miami game?
Like they put up 40. Then they put up about 40.
Yeah, they won by 30.
Cincinnati won. They won by 30.
Yeah.
I mean.
It was close.
Okay, so we're going to take that, multiply by 2. We'll go 60 plus to less than 13.
Got it.
Boom, done. There you go.
I'm going to go 62-6.
Math formula. All right.
2 field goals.
Yeah, 2
See,
field goals.
Here's the thing, though. We don't even know if they have a field goal kicker.
We didn't do our homework.
We don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's Miami of Ohio.
It's just Monday. We can update as we go.
They got heated sidewalks there. I mean, of course we should beat them by 6.
There you go. All right. I think I'll go 63-0.
Okay, I like that. Blank them.
I mean, look.
Yeah.
My boss, Will Crawl, predicted a shutout last week at Indiana. Didn't get it. I bet he doubles down this week and looks for that second one. I mean, look, you know those silver bullets. Those are the ones you want. You want to see those zeros up there.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's how you climb the national rankings. I think they're going to be ready. And there's a lot of depth on that defense. So
it's still early in the season, man. We got a long way to go. I can't wait to see how this thing shapes out as the Big Ten really starts to form over the next couple of weeks.
By the time we get back here next week, we'll be talking about Ohio State at Nebraska. That's going to be a primetime kickoff. We're going to have more food right here. We're going to have more discussion about Ohio State. We're going to have more Lettermen hanging out with us, these former Buckeyes.
Next week? Are we going to?
I'll be there. I'll be there. I don't know who's crawling in my luggage, but I don't have that private jet to take everybody. So
only Mike.
And I don't think you guys want to be staying in that press box till 2 a.m. with me either. So better off staying here, maybe coming to Roosters, hanging out. Beanie Wells, Anthony Schlegel, Mike Doss. I'm just Austin Ward. We're going to see you next week on Lettermen Live.
Go Bucks.